Hey, this is a TVZ. It's labeled Marine into Mac. What do you want? Unless it doesn't want anything, just so you know. Get off. Get off. It's a pretty short game, so I assume you won with your first push or got countered. One or the other. We'll see. 1-1. Really early second gas. No expo. Second factory. This is looking like a 2-factory push, which I hope it is, because that would be cool. I'm okay with 2-factory pushing concept. And you're trying to provoke a defensive response with these early units, and that's great. And he is over queening as a response, and that's great because queens are kind of terrible. They're great against early Hellions and early naked Marines and stuff. Once you get tanks out there, they kind of become useless. And you're still not going to expand. It looks like now you're planning to expo, which is fine. Again, he's on 3 base, so if this push fails, you're going to lose. But, you know, if this push doesn't fail, then you're going to be glad you didn't expo, because that's what made it not fail. Setting up bunkers out here. You got your tanks coming in. Again, because this is basically a 1 base, you expoed really late. You got to compare yourself to the army size benchmarks, and we can see if this were a TVP and you looked at the game at this point, we got 200 spent here, 200 spent here. So this is a $2,500 army at 9 minutes. 2750 is the benchmark, so that's good. It looks good. No SCVs do anything. Can't believe he took his third. This man has balls. Just kind of doing an 8 Marine 2 tank contain here. No threat of being able to kind of push in and get anything done, but it's really putting a lot of pressure on him. At 10 minutes for a Zerg to have 38 workers is just awesome. He's really spending all his money on defense and worrying a heck of a lot about defending and not worrying so much about getting an economy. And it's funny because he's spending a lot, he's taking a big risk and spending a lot of effort to get this 3rd base, and he's not using it like at all because you got this contained down here. Now he suddenly went from 38 workers to 63, fully saturated his 3rd right as you're pushing in and killing it. Is he ever going to make an army? He's made like no army units this whole time. He's starting roach upgrades. You're on your 3rd factory, starting, looks like vehicle attack. This is an undersaturated gas geyser. Look how low your money is. You're just generally doing decent things. His income is way bigger than yours. You really got to knock down that 3rd. Oh. But this is kind of what we talked about, right? If you cut economy to get an aggressive pose in the early game, then he has to cut economy in order to not die to it. So as long as it doesn't completely backfire, this forces all of his tech to come out late and forces his army to be smaller in the long term, though bigger in the short term. Just generally things. So I don't know. It worked, and you did it really well, but I don't know. The fact that this 3rd never was even really threatened kind of bugged me a little. And just not hitting 52 workers until forever, right? Like you're 36 at 10 minutes with 1 dead. And since you're on 1 base, I mean that's the most you can get, and you did it perfectly. But that's still not very many. And there's always the risk too that your main will lose some patches in the very immediate term. Anyway, it worked, you know. Try it enough times to find out whether it's going to work at least 50% of the time, and if it does, that's good. not a lot to be said. You did everything that you were trying to do very well. And what you're trying to do killed this guy, so, you know, just all around good job.